My people, live, live. Very, very happy to be back. Thank you for being here. We're gonna start in English today. Renesharanji, I see you. Ooh. California Pombe, I see you. Merci d'être là, la famille. We're starting in English. I have a guest. Let's stop the music for a minute. My people, welcome back. Welcome back. You and I talk show today. We are recording live on Saturday, November 29th, 2025. Oh my goodness. I can't believe 2025 is over. Ah! Crazy how time flies. So I have a guest today. The lovely Cassandra Leah Wilson, who actually wrote a book that I actually have here with me, that I actually read. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, and who's been on You and I talk show in the past. You can find the video on the page. And then we're going to talk about what she's been up to and what she's doing all the way in Ontario. She has abandoned us in British Columbia, moved from British Columbia, Vancouver, the most beautiful place in Canada, to Ontario, my people. Like, what is that about? And now she's doing events, soulful events. We're going to talk about her events, Women's Wednesdays. And then, yeah, so thank you everybody for being here. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get the show started and then let's bring in our guest and then we're going to have a great time. All right. Hey people, welcome back, welcome back. As you can see, I have Cassandra Leah Wilson in the building. How you been? How you been, Cassandra?
I'm well, Louise. How are you? I
I
guess you go
am.
back to Ausares now.
Sorry, what?
Ausares.
Yeah, Ausares. You can call me by whichever one is easier, whichever one you remember.
Both are beautiful.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on You and I. What have you been up to since last interview on You and I about your book? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I think that was 2016.
Mm.
And since then, I've been on quite a journey. And now I'm in Ontario, as you know, and I'm using all of the knowledge and wisdom that I experienced in Thailand that I write about in the book to craft and continue to offer the wisdom that I gained there. So I've got a new event that I'm starting in London, Ontario. And I'm sorry that you can't be here for it, but I think that we're going to be streaming it. It's called Women's Wednesdays. And in those events, I'm going to be offering emotional wellness tips, energy healing, and other types of tools and practices that we can use as women and as people to help us to align our energy, become more emotionally and mentally clear, and live a life more in alignment and in abundance, really. So I'm really excited about it.
Nice. So, why? Do you feel like people need it?
I definitely feel that people need it. I've been teaching emotional energy healing since 2009. And back in the day, I would tell people that I worked in emotions, and they would say, "That's wonderful." And then they'd go the other way because, emotions are such a nebulous experience that, you know, people are kind of confused on how to deal with them, how to work with them. But I think now, we really need to do that. And it's such a powerful way to get energetic alignment. So I think now is the time that I feel kind of invited more to speak on emotions and energetic alignment. And I'm really excited to do so.
Nice. Wow. Okay. Emotions. Some of us be trying to run from our emotions.
Exactly.
Huh?
You
So,
know,
why should we even care about our emotions?
okay. So emotions carry an energetic charge. Okay. So when an emotion comes up for clearing, if we don't have the tools and skills to know how to process that, release it, and then come into better alignment, we push it down. And then, it comes up and down. And then sometimes, if we're really good at repressing them, it can come up and erupt in a way that is undesirable. So it can come up in a physical illness or some kind of physical ailment. And so they're, they really want to be heard, because at the bottom of the emotion is actually a piece of information that we need. And that piece of information will help us to feel better and step more into alignment. So I like to use the term emotional gardening. And it's basically doing that with your energy field, doing your emotional gardening. When you start, you get the bigger rocks and the bigger emotions, which I think maybe daunts some people. They find it daunting, but once you begin a practice of doing your emotional gardening, you will find that you feel better and better and better. You get more aligned, you have more mental clarity, and you're able to handle what's happening in life more calmly. So the reward is there. It's just that people need a vehicle, a modality, a set of practice, a set of tools to get them into this alignment. Hmm.
Alignment. So, what are people trying to be aligned with? What should people be trying to be aligned with?
Well, your emotions pull you out, kind of out this way. But when you come into alignment, you feel more energy this way. And so then you have more balance. Okay. So that you can ride kind of things that are going on in life with more kind of mastery, because you're just flowing on the waves rather than having the waves rock you mentally and kind of stirring up things in your environment, that you're putting out fires, and your relationships can suffer and struggle if you're not in alignment. So the goal is alignment, and the clarity and peace that is inherent in that alignment.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But when you speak about alignment, what are you aligned with? Are we talking about being aligned with like the concept of God, let's say?
So yes, right. So we have a physical reality, and it is on this horizontal plane. Okay, so the matter is here, but the spiritual essence is here. And so when we're in alignment and attunement with this spiritual alignment, and is as if there was a light column going through us, then the physical kind of calms down.
Hmm. So what kind of people need you? And how do you know that somebody needs you?
Well, I think I can. give some piece of information to anybody who's open-minded. I think that's a key. But there are those who are, seekers, and those who are interested in greater awareness or awakening or improving, increasing their consciousness. There are those people who are kind of interested in dabbling in different modalities and fields and practices in order to get closer to themselves and get into more alignment and feel better. So it's basically people have to self-identify if they're interested in energetic hygiene. And normally those people are it's quite clear who is interested and who is maybe not ready or not open to it, or has another path.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And how did you yourself get into it? Did you have an issue and then you couldn't resolve it any other way, and then you had to go the spiritual, the soulful way? Because, like, your event, for example, is called um, soulful gatherings, right?
Hmm.
So, like, why did you yourself get into it?
Into this line of work.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I was always kind of interested in the mind and in self improvement, even growing up. I studied psychology thinking that that was the way forward. But even after getting my degree, I realized that that wasn't the end of the path. That wasn't going to be the resolution that I was looking for. So I went to Thailand, as you know, Louise. I went there and just looking for a nice place to suntan on the beach, and I found myself. So in that stillness, I stepped out of the conditioning I'd been raised in, and that left me kind of like a bit of like open to something new. And so with all of that beauty there and that peace and stillness and just the time and space to sit and be with myself, I started to kind of open up within and hear things that maybe I was too busy to hear before. And so it kind of cracked me open. And then it began to delight me. My life began to delight me, and I began to see beauty like I had never seen before. And it was always there, but I had never had the perception for it. I never had the appreciation for it. And so I began to walk on this path of, wow, what's there? And it just kind of took me along. And I continued to be a student of life and follow the nudges and the energy. And years, passed. And, I began a meditation practice that I do diligently every day, no matter what, no matter how early the flight is or what's on top of the day. I always meditate first thing. And that gives me a chance to tune into myself, to hear what I need to shift, if anything. If I have an opportunity to do some energy work inside, I definitely do it at that time. So I give myself that space to do this kind of work, to be led within. And that, I think, is one of the key parts of, joy in my life, and my ability to find this information that has value to others as well.
Nice. So,
Yeah,
um, this is a good advertisement for Thailand.
definitely.
Huh?
Yes.
This is really great for Thailand. So, I mean, Canada is beautiful as well, especially here in Vancouver, BC, but
Mhm.
you had to go to Thailand in order. What is it about Canada that you couldn't do this in Canada, but now you feel like it's needed in Canada, so you bring it to Canadians. You
Mhm.
host events now in Canada.
Mhm. Well, I think, when you go to a place, you kind of drop off the map for a while. You're kind of free to explore different avenues. And I think that was really what it was. I was around the world from my home. I was in Asia. I was just traveling. I was lightweight. I had just a backpack with me, and I was ready for life to show me something great. I was looking for that. I was asking for that. Life, what have you got to show me? And then I was open to it. So I think, living in Canada, you're Canadian and you have like certain responsibilities. Your day looks a certain way when you live in a city in Canada. And so I think like the routine just kind of carries you along. And maybe it was more difficult to step out of that in the early days. And so going to Thailand was like an excuse. I could just drop off the map and see what else there was for me.
Mm.
Hmm.
So then the whole system in Canada where people actually have to work, do you think it's anti-spiritual? You can't find time to get in touch with yourself?
Well, I don't think any activity really is anti-spiritual. I guess it depends on what you bring to it. But I think that, when people have this routine that demands so much of their time and their energy and their mental space, the 9 to 5 job, 5 days a week, I think it limits your ability to have maybe the energy and propensity to look for something stimulating, that could really awaken you, unless you take the time and you meditate in the morning or you meditate in the evening or you do something that gives you a chance to hear yourself without your phone, without your TV, without people talking to you. I think everyone needs that space to just listen to themselves. And in that time, you're going to find all of the forgotten dreams that you had and the desires that you have, and you're cultivating a relationship with yourself, which I think is cultivating a relationship with the spiritual. And then it's very fulfilling. So it's all happening within yourself. It just depends, again, on the choices you're making with your time.
That's very interesting because it makes me think of like the pyramid of necessities. So if you maybe even for the spiritual life, you have to not be needing anything. You don't need to work, you don't need money, and then once that basic fundamental worry is gone, then you can focus on higher things.
Mhm.
And I don't know, so are we living in societies which we can't focus on higher spiritual things precisely because we have to worry about surviving in the material world?
Mhm.
And so this is where the soulful gatherings come in. What are you hoping to achieve with the soulful gatherings?
So I want to give people in London an opportunity to discuss kind of the emotional realm, energetic hygiene, and maybe spiritual questions that they haven't been able to kind of satisfy within themselves. As far as changing the structure of society, which I think is your question, I think, you know, what we need to do energetically is get into coherence with ourselves individually, into heart coherence. And that is a very powerful vibration that can realign reality. And perhaps, with some thoughtful consideration and emotional gardening, we can begin to vibrate and essentially establish the kind of life that we want to experience, and give it time to shift and have compassion with the process and allow things to be what they are as we kind of grow and reach for more satisfaction. I think it's within us to change life the way that we would like to change it, without getting angry with the way things are or being unsatisfied with what we might see outside of ourselves. I think everything is a reflection of what's happening within. So if we're triggered by something outside of ourselves, then there's something we're carrying that is mirroring that and inviting that in. So it all comes back to the self and the energetic hygiene, which is why emotional awareness is so important, because that allows us to get into coherence with our divinity. And then,
Hmm.
hmm,
So, how are people supposed to, for example, react to politicians in Canada who make it harder for them to exist and live and survive? Like the whole scandals of, how, for example, how much money they sent to Ukraine, and now it turns out that it's a scam. A lot of Canadian people are suffering. When they hear all these things the politicians do to make life harder, when life could actually be so much easier. This is a very rich country. Nobody should be suffering, but a lot of people are suffering. How are people supposed to react to that?
okay, so I don't really follow a lot of politics because I feel like it's just a lot of stuff going on, and I'm glad they're handling that. But I think that, if we are feeling a sense of loss by the actions of others, then we need to find out where within ourselves either we're giving away our power, or we have an emotional wound around loss. Like, why are we feeling like that is a loss? Like, there's money coming in as well. Why are we triggered or upset by that? I mean, that's gone, and I know that, politically we might say, well, there was a mistake there, and maybe there was, and maybe that shouldn't have happened, but we can't fixate on that because that's outside of ourselves. We can only control what's within us and in our own lives. And so that's why we have to be responsible for everything going on within us, because we are vibrational beings, we are energetic beings, and we vibrate out what we want to experience. So we control what we're doing energetically, and then we bring some different energy. We bring something that's more of a blessing than a judgment or a pain or a wound when we look at things, in a grand scale like that.
Hmm. So, on the grand scale of things, um, how should people look at such a challenge? When people are struggling and suffering, and then they see all these things outside of themselves. How should they look at it?
Send it love. Send it love. Send it light. Just
Love to the people who scammed us. Love to the liberals. No,
the
it's not.
people, the situations, and put that the blessing on it. Like, I know this will work out well. I know this is going to be good for us. I know that this is going to have a happy ending. That's all we can do. We can't knock on someone's door and say, you have to change your life and you have to change the things you're doing. We can't do that because that is not our domain. We can't take someone else's steering wheel and drive their car. We can just put good energy on it, be responsible for ourselves, and enjoy it. I mean, we can't control other people. So we might as well just have a good time. Bring the party back. Bring the party back home. And, enjoy it. Enjoy ourselves. We're only here for a period of time and then we're gone, like, let's bless the place and bless our experience, and yeah, just enjoy it. I know. I mean, it's like it's the law of detachment or non-attachment. I used to think, what is that? Like, how can people feel that way? But it's true when you kind of drill down deep into yourself, you feel like you have everything you need. And so let's just focus on that. We have these beautiful homes, we have enough food to eat, we have each other to talk to and laugh with and play with and dance with. That's really the essence of joy, I think, in life.
Wow, very interesting. Um, Yeah, I would say like in order to feel better, you maybe you think, oh, those people are going to get their karma. If people are out here doing bad things and harming people, or doing things that are harming millions of people, for sure
Mhm.
they will also get their karma coming to them. So, do these people need to be reported? Or like if you're feeling so great, how is the divinity going to know that some people are offending you so that it can be taken out of your way? I mean, if you don't complain against something, protest something, reject it, how does it get out of your life if you're, like loving it? I don't know.
Well, I think, it becomes the point of attention. So if you're focused on somebody who's doing something that in your mind is wrong, that's going to irritate you. And you are going to vibrate on that and create negative energy, which adds to the problem because it's negative energy that's compounding, right? So if you take your attention off of that person who's being offensive and put it onto something that you enjoy, then you're going to tip the balance because there's more positive energy in the environment than negative. So then this person who's doing the negative will shrink down because there's not enough energy for them to be that negative. Because we're all focused on what's good and what's bright and what's love energy. And so it shrinks the negative.
Hmm. Okay, so that could mean that if I don't like the evil that it's being done in our world, and then I enjoy calling it out and screaming about it, then my job is gonna be to call it out and scream about it.
Well, I think what you're doing is you're creating awareness, right? And I think that that's very powerful for people because if they can see what you're saying, then they can put their attention on it and they can say, well, Louise showed me this, but really I would like this. So then we can put our energy on this, right? So what you're doing is you're kind of unearthing things and you're showing people and they think, okay, yeah, like that's not right, but I want this instead. So you're actually doing a service to people because everybody has a different role. And so that's why it's important what you do because another thing that you do, which is amazing, obviously, is you use your voice and you speak up and you speak out. And I love that about you. I just love hearing you speak and saying what you feel and what you want to share. I find it so empowering and I just think that's beautiful. So congratulations on having that strength and that courage and that power. I love that about you.
Thank you, thank you. This is why I came to Canada, to live in a free country where I could do that. Because in my own country, you die.
Wow. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're safe here.
Nice, nice. So the um the soulful gatherings,
Mhm.
why are you excluding men? Don't men need soulful gatherings? Are you scared to mix men and women? Like why women's Wednesdays?
Right?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, it just kind of came about. And I think, because I'm from this town, I grew up in this town. I moved away at 19, went to university back in
London, Ontario, by the way, to my London people who may think this is coming to your town, keep dreaming. This is London, Ontario, Canada.
Ontario. But we met in Vancouver because I was there for 22 years. So, anyway, yeah, so I'm back at home with my family at this time. So, right. So I don't know. I wanted to start and I wanted to see my old friends. And so I went to the tea lounge owned by my friend, Kirsten Osterbach, my next door neighbor. We grew up together. And she has the tea lounge, which is a beautiful place where they offer all kinds of teas sourced around the world. And I came up with the idea to have a meeting twice a month on Wednesdays where I could talk to my old friends and also meet new friends in London and kind of create a community here, because from Vancouver everyone's creating communities and it's a wonderful thing. So I thought I would bring that here and start with women, and I'm open to how it evolves, and if it's a mixer or other types of events or other types of clients or corporate clients. I'm open to opportunities to speak and to share simple practical tools on how people can harness their emotional energy and get into alignment with it and feel better. So this is going to be an event where people are just, we can talk about these things and kind of start the grassroots of London being, maybe a bit of a hub in this area, because around us are a lot of small towns. So I just want to have some fun and get together and talk to people and see what they're up to, what they're thinking, and yeah, have a nice time.
Very nice. I really, I think it's a great initiative, you know. Congratulations on this. You know,
Thank
this is why I was like, come and tell my people about it. Because I think that there's a lot of stress circulating, you know, in Canada as well.
you.
And all this stress has to be addressed, you know, has to be
Mhm,
addressed, or
mhm,
else people are gonna go crazy. So I
mhm,
think this would be one of a really great way for people to address whatever stress that they may be going through. And then the fact that you call it soulful gatherings, it means that, you know, you're looking at the soul, you know, and there are many paths, you know, there are many ways to the soul, and everybody has their own concepts, you know, so people will just know that it's about the soul, and maybe everybody can bring in their own, you know, their own ideas of the soul, because different cultures have, you know, all these ways of seeing it, but I think they kind of complete each other, you know.
definitely.
So are you planning to like, what if people can't make it to London, Ontario, which is a small town to me,
Mhm.
which is
There
like a
are,
village for me.
I think it's 400,000 people that live here
Oh,
now, and
okay.
we are 2 hours away from Toronto, and I think it's Toronto's at what now, some 15 million or something, maybe not
Yeah,
that. But there are lots of towns around here. We've got Kitchener, Windsor, and so yeah, I think we would like to record it, and then we can share it after that. Um, and then definitely, I'm going to be traveling and doing some speaking in Canada around these subjects. It would be custom events to the audience. So it depends on who I'm speaking to. And yeah, just kind of teach some practical techniques on how to improve your energy, improve your mood. A new colleague that I have, she talks about something called havening. It's very simple. You're rubbing your hands together, and it's got scientific benefits and so on. And it's a very simple calming mechanism. You're stroking your face, you're stroking your arms. So there are a lot of modalities now that are very non-invasive and are easy to access, like what I've said, havening, breath work. There are a lot of very gentle starts into energy work, and I invite everyone to explore that, because it's very interesting and very simple to know how easily you can kind of recenter, bring your anxiety levels down, your stress levels down. Just simple acts that you can do throughout the day. Have a little tool bag of skills and tools that you can apply so that you can kind of calm yourself down, stay out of the fray, out of the chaos, and just have a way to bring yourself back to center.
very nice. And you spoke about corporate clients as well. I think people in the corporate world need this, you know, because some of them are really under a lot of stress, And on a daily basis, it's really nice to know how to be able to come back to the peace and to that alignment. So, coming towards the end,
Mm.
aren't you gonna get in trouble with the medical mafia, big pharma, because you're not selling medication, or are you selling medication? Like, what's up?
No, I don't sell medication, but I
Like,
invite.
don't they have medications for this? And you're gonna take away people from their medications and tell them about the soulful, this and that. Like, are you not gonna get in trouble? I'm worried about you, Cass.
No, I'm fine. And I did some research, and each corporate employee costs the corporation on average $3,400 a year for mental health days and other types of issues that are associated with their employee because they do not have these tools and skills. And I've spoken to a contact of mine at Canada Life, and they are now starting to insure alternative healthcare modalities, which is a huge step forward in Canada because up until recently, they were not covering anything outside of pharmaceuticals and hospitals and so on. But even the insurance companies are realizing that they need to modernize in a way that is helping people more because it's costing them a lot of money to disallow these types of alternative modalities. So I think that's really going to open things up here in Canada. I'm so proud of them for doing that, and I think it will continue to go on around the world. I know in Germany they're quite serious about it. If someone's not feeling well, they send them off for 6 weeks to a respite, and they get to take a rest, and they get to have some therapy, and they get to have massages, and the company pays for that person to take a respite so that they can come back and feel better and get back to work. Because as we know, job satisfaction affects job productivity. So if there's not an alliance between the satisfaction and the productivity, then everybody suffers, really.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, congratulations for, bringing this to Canadians, because I really think that it's needed. It's needed, and the timing is perfect. So what are your hopes for the future?
Well, I'm just going to keep going, doing what I'm doing. And I do want to grow my audiences because I love people and I love sharing this information. And I think it's really powerful and useful and effective. So I'd like to kind of tell everybody, how to do these things and how to kind of step into alignment energetically and emotionally so that at least they know what to do, and then it's up to them to do it when they want to do it, but at least they have that education. It's just like nutrition or physical exercise. The whole population slowly came to those steps, and now people are obsessed with nutrition and eating well and eating healthy. It's the same thing with energetic hygiene and energetic alignment. It's the same thing. It's like a whole, a cohort of us, a whole group of us will move into this. And I want to help everybody and give them the knowledge and understanding that I have to help them along the way.
Nice. Very, very nice. Okay, let me applaud for you actually. Plans
Thank you
to
so
travel again? Where you gonna be traveling next out of Canada, Thailand? Are you gonna go back to Thailand, or what's the traveling looking like?
Well, right now I'm looking at Canada, but as you know, I've done traveling and I'm ready to go with an invitation. So we'll see what happens and how it unfolds. But I'm definitely going to be starting with Women's Wednesdays and locally here in London, and take it from there. So I'm looking forward to the journey.
Nice. So if people want to participate or if they want to contact you in any way, how do they contact you?
So they can go to my website, theoraclerealm.com, and they can also email me at cassandraleewilson@gmail.com.
Perfect. Ah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I like that you are going to help a lot of people. A lot of people are under a lot of stress.
Mhm.
So I really like the fact that there's potential to help a lot of people. So they don't have to travel because some of them may not even have the money to travel. So, but they can come to you. They can come to your events and
Yes.
they will still get so much value. So is there anything that you haven't said that you would like to say before we let you continue your Saturday?
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Louise, for this opportunity. I always love talking to you, and I think you're amazing. And congratulations on your new book. And I wish you as well a beautiful Saturday, and see you soon.
Thank you, thank you. Have a great weekend and
Mhm.
have great events, and then come back and tell us in a few months or a few years how it's going.
I would love to. Of course, I will.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
All right. Mwah. Ciao, ciao. All right, my people. That was Cassandra Leah Wilson. And you can definitely go check out her event. It's starting next week. This is perfect timing. Next Wednesday on you can see the poster. I put the poster right here in case it's not big enough. I You can see it now. So she's gonna be doing that on Wednesdays, and you have all the information. My people, go because personally I found that when you are calm and spiritual and doing great, everything else goes great as well. One of the things that I talk about in my new book, Imana East, Know Thy Divine Rights. One of our divine rights, which actually the divine rights are based on spiritual principles, ancient Africa spiritual principles. And as you know, ancient Africa gave a lot of great knowledge to the rest of the world. So one of our divine rights, fundamental divine right, is the divine right to peace. You know, so people need to understand that they actually have a divine right to peace, and coming back, practicing your divine rights, being peaceful, and finding ways back to peace is a way to find a way back into your divine self. And when you actually do that, everything else becomes successful. So it's like, in order to be successful in life, don't wait to be successful to find peace. Like I'll be at peace once I have this and this and that. It's rather like the opposite. Have peace, build on the peace and the joy, and then everything else will also be successful. So this is what I love about this thing that Cassandra is trying to do, because it's bringing people into peace, and that will allow them to be successful in everything else. All right, my people. So let's move into French a tiny little bit, and then move into KinyaRwanda. It's been great. I loved it. Thank you, Cassandra, for being here and sharing your knowledge. And then we'll be back next week again in English. Thank you, my people. Let's move into French. Merci, merci la famille d'être là. All right, my people, we are here. Ah, pardon, j'ai oublié, on est passé déjà en français. OK, ça sera pas long en français là. C'était juste pour dire, bonjour à notre ami, Symphorien Pombé. Bonjour, et à tous les autres. Sinon, on va passer en KinyaRwanda directement parce que demain, ça sera demain que je vais faire le show, en français, le space de la solidarité Congo boycott Kagamistan. C'est, dimanche, donc c'est en français, donc je n'ai plus besoin de faire des shows en français. Donc on passe en KinyaRwanda. My people rero tugere mu Kinyarwanda. Mukomere cyane. René Shyorongi ndakubona. Anthony Macphail ndakubona. Claude Gatebuke. Ba Claude Gatebuke bagize ikiganiro cyiza cyane, nari ndi muri ribaro wariraye mu kanya, byari byiza, byari biryoshye kabisa. Noneho rero bagiye kubiryoshya kurushaho, bazane na muzehe Matata we! Oh my God! Matata dukoreye icyo bita bombardement, ye baba we! Nuko dukomeze tuganire rero, dushobora no guhera kuri topic bari barimo baganiraho muri, ribaruwa riraye, reka mbashyirireho link y'aho ikiganiro cyabereye muzajye kukireba, hanyuma yenda dukomereze no kuri topic baganiriyeho kuko yari iryoshye cyane. Karibu rero sana mu kiganiro cy'ikinyarwanda gusa, ubwo direct live iri kuba ku wa gatandatu, samedi détente, rediffusion ni dimanche na le reste de la semaine. My people murakoze cyane ko muhari. Yeah man, ese ko ndi kwibona hano kuri YouTube nkabona amabere y'uyu munsi ari too much, byagenze gute? Narabyibushye we! Oh yeah, that is a lot of boobs. What's happening? Cyangwa ni kamera? My people rero mukomere cyane, ubwo twari dufite umushyitsi mu Cyongereza, twari turimo tuvuga ibintu bya spirituality, nuko rero mu kanya rero nkaba mvuye muri, muri ribaruwa riraye. Uyu munsi ba Gatebuke bakoze ribaruwa riraye, ndagira ngo mbereke ribaruwa riraye y'uyu munsi kabisa, byari byiza cyane, ndabashimira, kuko nk'uko mubizi ribaruwa riraye iba buri mwaka, rero kandi banditse igitabo, abajene banditse igitabo baharanira uburenganzira bw'ikiremwamuntu, bakora ikiganiro open mic, n'abatumirwa benshi bavuga nyine amateka, aho abantu bavuga amateka. Ikindi cyanshimishije ni uko bari banafite na Benedict Njoko muramuzi ko aba ari muri space yo ku wa kane yo gusoma za mapping report. Rero ribaruwa riraye y'uyu munsi, nk'uko muyibona titre yayo yari, ribaruwa riraye, amasezerano y'amahoro mu Rwanda no mu karere atanga iki? Atanga iki? Nuko ati ese harimo ubutabera? Nuko abantu benshi rero nyine baje kubivugaho no kuvuga icyo babitekerezaho, nabikunze cyane nyine comme d'habitude ribaruwa riraye nyine yari bon. Kabisa rero mwakoze cyane. Nuko rero ubwo bari barimo baganira nyine ku masezerano, ibintu abanyarwanda bagiyemo kuva kera bari mu masezerano. Nuko umwanzuro ni uko nta masezerano, nta mishyikirano n'abantu Matata yise ingegera. Rero nahise njya muri dictionnaire njya no kureba nyine definition y'ingegera nsanga birajyanye neza kabisa birajyanye. Kubera ko nasanze muri dictionnaire ahubwo hinga nzane dictionnaire nyikorere publicité we. Dore fast forwarding kuri Gatebuke na Matata reka aho tubyumveho gatoya.
mariye abagiraho izihe ngaruka ubwo ushobora no kubihuza na kampanye ukora
Mu gihe ndi kuzana dictionnaire
kubera ko hari ikintu cyakomeje kuza hano cyakomeje kuvugwa donc ubudahana ari byo byitwa Karasira mugenzi wacu yise ubutareba. Hari ubucabiranya uburyarya hari ikintu cya sincerité cyakomeje kuvugwa hari n'ibindi nagira ngo tubihuze kuri icyo kibazo narimbajije tunabihuze na kampanye ukora byo kurwanya ikinyoma kandi dushyigikiye nagerageza guparticipamo tugakubitira ikinyoma kubuye. Karibu Mzee Matata.
Ndagira ngo mbasuhuze kandi mbashimira ko mwateguye iki kiganiro. Ibijyanye n'amasezerano reka mpita ari byo mperaho. Uvuze neza ko i Burundi ho byaciyemo. I Burundi cyatumye bicamo nuko ayo masezerano yarahagarariwe n'umugabo navuga iki wakataraboneka. Byari bihagarariwe na Mandela. Ndagira ngo mbibutse ko umunsi wo gusinya nka biriya nyine biruga bakora muri Kongo, umunsi wo gusinya Buyoya n'agatsiko ke k'abatutsi bazi ubwenge nyine babandi bavuga ngo bazi ubwenge baraje umunsi wo gusinya bazana ibibazo 100 baje gusubiza amasezerano inyuma. Mandela bakurira aho neza. Mandela sinzi niba mumuzi. Mandela ntushaka kumuzana ibintu by'imikino abakurira aho. Hanyuma n'abahutu bo mu barwanaga mu Burundi bari baragaragaje ko burya kurwanya umuntu ushobora kukuhisha akade plus intambara yakayijyana aho ashaka. Nicyo gituma bigora gutsinda abarobe, gutsinda inyeshyamba. Donc inyeshyamba z'abahutu zari ziri mu Burundi, abasirikare amajorité tutsi barananiwe kuzirwanya, abandi banibaza dairi impamvu bagomba kuzirwanya. None ibyo kumvikana rero bituma bishoboka. Kubijyanye rero natwe mu Rwanda abazungu bateganije kariya gatsiko niko nye navuga byahereye Bugande Museveni yakoze amasezerano atagira ingano.
My people murabyumva murabyiyumvira muze kujya kumva ikiganiro cyose cyari baruwa riraye justement nicyo nashakaga gukorera publicité nicyo nashakaga kubabwira. Muze kujya kubyumva muze kujya kubyiyumvira byari byiza kandi byari biryoshye kabisa. Rero ingegera muri dictionnaire nkorere publicité na dictionnaire dictionnaire yitwa Nyamunini mu Kinyarwanda n'Igifaransa yanditswe na timu ariko umukuru muri bo main umwanditsi ni Eugene Shimamungu kandi mperutse kubona yanasohoye version nshyashya ya dictionnaire. Muri dictionnaire rero ingegera nk'uko Matata yabise inkotanyi na ako kaga wa Kagamisitani iri kuri page ya 904. Ingegera ngo bivuga voyou, bandit, voleur, vagabond qui vit des petits larcins. Nuko nahise mvuga nti birajyanye kabisa ni mahwi. Mokfarunzorakata. Merci d'être là. C'était trop magnifique quand vous étiez là jeudi dans le show de la lecture des rapports, dans le rapport de Gareton. C'était trop bon. Vous nous avez éduqués. Merci. On est ensemble. turi kumwe rero my people. Ibi rero by'intuza by'amasezerano y'amahoro, nta masezerano y'amahoro, ntago umuntu ajya kudisikita amahoro n'abantu bakorera shitani baje batera bica abantu kandi babeshya, kubera ko barakubeshya nyine ngo muri mu masezerano birirwa bazengurutsa abantu imisozi ngo bari mu masezerano, hanyuma ukiroturuva amasezerano byahindutse intambara, you know. Abanyarwanda rero bamenye isomo, nta dialogue, nta masezerano, n'abantu nyine bitwara nk'ingegera. Ni gutyo byifashe. Ubundi rero byari birimo bivugwa kubera ko muri iyi minsi hariho nyine n'icyo kintu cy'abanyarwanda bavuga ngo bazajya mu masezerano, you know, ngo bazajya ibintu by'amasezerano nanone byaragarutse we, ibintu by'amasezerano, aho ubona u Rwanda rukiri nanone ngo mu masezerano ngo na Congo. Ibyo ni ibiki? Ariko njyewe iyo ngiye muri Bombardement intellectuel, njyewe mpita mbabwira ko nta by'amasezerano, nta by'imishyikirano, n'abantu bajya mu masezerano ahubwo bagapanga kwica abaperezida bagiye gusezerana nabo no gusezerana amahoro nabo, urumva se? Nuko ikindi rero cyari kirimo kivugwa muri iyi minsi ni uku kuntu ejo bundi Kagamisitani yagiye muri disikuru akishongora ku bantu, akavuga ukuntu ngo Goma mwamubonye arimo avuga Goma, oh my goodness, reka nongere nshyireho screen share, tujye kureba biriya bintu Uncle Kaga wa Kagamisitani yishyize hanze, noneho yagiye ku mugaragaro ati Goma, dore hano nari napositinze ibyo uko nyine abajene bari gukora ribaruwa riraye, niko ngo Goma. Ibaza ariko umuperezida akajya ku mugaragaro akavuga ibintu biri kubera mu kindi gihugu, akishyira hanze akerekana ko asapotinga abadesitabiliza igihugu cy'abandi, akavuga ukuntu bimureba. Gashoza ntambara. Mbega ni ukuvuga ngo umunsi bazajyana Kagamisitani mu rukiko, ibimenyetso bazakoresha mu rukiko kugira ngo ahanwe n'ibyaha, afatwe n'ibyaha, ni ibimenyetso we ubwe ahora yitangira, we ubwe niwe ubyivugira, niwe utwihera ibimenyetso. Ngaho nimunyumvire hano.
Let me tell you a story. If I were the one, let me be myself. Let me tell you a story. If I were the one,
ati reka mbe njyewe
you come and I'm the one controlling Goma.
Ati yaba ari njyewe ukontorora Goma. ariko ye.
And you come to say, I want to use Goma. I say, fine. But these are conditions. Goma is...
ngo hanyuma ukambwira ngo urashaka gukoresha Goma. Ati nuko nkakubwira ngo hari kondisiyo. Can you imagine? Ubutaka bw'abandi, igihugu cy'abandi, atari njyewe uha control. Ati hanyuma ukambwira ngo urashaka kuhakoresha. Ati noneho ngo ngushyireho kondisiyo. Ariko mani ishobora byose.
It's part of my problems that I face with the government. And now it is in my hands. I will not give it to you until you show me alongside that how you address my problems.
Ati ngo Goma ni ibibazo bye, ni ikibazo cye, ngo ntago azayibasubiza ngo kugeza aho mukemuye ikibazo cye kuri kamera.
Well, I may sound speaking for these guys, but I'm just reasoning.
Noneho rero arabimenye ko bari bumufate ko arimo avugira abakriminere abateroriste ba za M23 ati nubwo bwose biri bwumvikane nk'aho ndi kuvugira abo bateroriste ati njyewe ndi gutekereza gusa. Byahese ko ari kuvugira abasirikare nawe ubwo arabimenye ageze hagati muri disikuru ati birumvikana nk'aho ndi kubavugira, but that's exactly what it is.
If I were the one, you want Goma, you want Kavumu, or Bukavu, or you want the whole of Eastern Congo back, fine.
Ati ngo yaba ari njyewe ngo urashaka Goma, urashaka Kavumu, urashaka Eastern Congo yose murashaka kuyirekipera ngo oke ngo ariko rero ariko mana naragenze ndabona Afurika yaragowe pe.
I have no problem with that. It will only come with you addressing my problems. You understand? In my long history, in my judgment, that is what I learned over so many years of fighting for my rights.
Fighting for my rights. Ese niwe wenyine ufite uburenganzira ngo ibyo byose ngo ni ibyo yize ngo imyaka yose ngo yari arimo ngo arwanira ngo uburenganzira bwe. Niwe wenyine ufite uburenganzira. Abo muri Kongo ntibafite uburenganzira bwo kubaho. Abanyarwanda bo ntibafite uburenganzira bwo kubaho. Niwe urwanira uburenganzira. None aracyarwanira uburenganzira bw'iki bwande hariya muri Kongo. Ese abakongore bo barwaniye uburenganzira bwabo? Warabateye wabasanze ku butaka bwabo, urabica urabasahura. Bo barwaniye uburenganzira bwabo bakakugerana iwawe, wavuga iki? Ubu bwishongozi rero n'ubwirasi bw'abanyarwanda nibwo bazatuma mutanabaho. Urumva simbe mbababwiye hakiri kare. Abanyarwanda Kagamisitani wa Kagamisita murirata cyane, murishongora cyane. Ubu bwishongozi n'ubu bwirasi nibyo bigiye kubahanura babavudukane. Ibyo muri Tanzania rero bigeze kure. Dore wa mu activist wo muri Tanzania yarimo yerekana ati dore ahantu abapolisi bo muri Tanzania baba. Ati nimurebe bamwe muri aba bapolisi. Ati baba mu bukene butavugwa. Ati barangiza bagasova orders yo kujya kwica abaturage bakagenda kuyica. Dore wasanga ari nabyo n'abasirikare b'abanyarwanda birirwa bajya kumara abantu no gukandamiza abaturage. Se bo babayeho bati nabo babayeho mu bukene bwa hatari, ariko ni hahandi bagakoreshwa n'abadiktateri ngo bajye kwica abanyagihugu bakabikora. East Africa yose irimo irarwana n'abadiktateri. Sinzi rero niba mwumvishe noneho n'indi skandale y'ukuntu amafaranga bohereje Zelensky cyane cyane muri Canada yarayariye. We n'abakolaborateri be ba hafi na hafi amafaranga barayanyereje we. Abantu hano muri Canada basaze. Nibyo rero nari ndimo no kuganira n'umutumirwa twari dufite avuga ukuntu turimo tuvuga ukuntu nyine muri Canada abantu bamerewe nabi basafaringa bya hatari, ariko kamemo akaba ashaka we gukora ibintu bya spiritual byafasha abantu spiritual hano muri Canada. Kino gituma abantu basafaringa rero nuko kuntu amafaranga yabo bayafashe bakayohereza muri za Ukraine. Ahangaha ni abanyakenya bari barimo celebratinga bavuga ko inkiko zabo, Kenya niyo yonyine nicyo gihugu hariya muri East Africa gitanga hope. inkiko zayo zavuze ko abantu badashaka ko bahinga ibyo bishakiye mu butaka bwabo bakoresheje imbuto zabo, ko ibyo bintu ari anti constitutional. Aba banyoni n'abapredateri n'abakolonizateri bashakaga justement kwifatira abanyafurika bakabatwara imbuto zabo, hanyuma bakajya babategeka ibyo bahinga ari nabo babaha imbuto, ubwo bakaba barimo bakontorora ibiryo murya. Rero iyo umuntu yamaze kubakontorora mu biryo biba byarangiye, aba arimo nyine akontorora ubuzima bwanyu. Abanyakenya rero ibyo ngibyo babitsinze. Kagamisitani rero bamushyize hanze, ahashoboka hose barimo baramushyira hanze. Iyi ntuza nyine bari kuvuga iriya video tumaze kuvugaho y'ukuntu arimo yishongora ku bantu avuga ngo Goma ngo ibiki n'ibiki n'ibiki, abanyafurika ntago bagisinziriye. Mu minsi ishize muri East Africa, muri West Africa, abantu benshi babaga bari gusingiza Kagamisitani, ariko ubu ngubu Afurika yose yakangutse. Abatanzaniya rero bo barimo baranaboyikota n'aba basitari babo bihaye gushyigikira umuntuza wagiye kubica mu muhanda. Urumva se? Aba activist b'ahandi barimo barashyigikira abatanzaniya barimo bicwa n'umudikitateri wabo. Abandi ba activist b'abanyarwanda bamwe na bamwe nabonye barimo bitotomba ngo kuki communauté internationale iri kuvuga kuri Tanzania. Mwagira ngo se baceceke? Kubera ko abatanzaniya barahagurutse, nibe nabo barahagurutse, abanyarwanda bo barabakandamiza bagaceceka, kuko ni nka bya bindi ngo Imana ifasha uwifashije. Na communauté internationale rero ntago yaceceka kandi umuntu yishe abantu ngo amatora. Kagamisitani iyo igize amatora abanyarwanda baraceceka bakayoboka bose, ntihagire n'umwe wigaragambya. Kubera iki? Kuko batinya ko baramutse bigaragambije babica. None se abatanzaniya nabo barigaragambije barabica. Aho rero niho mvuga ni kameme abanyarwanda bwo bafite ubugwari. Urumva se? Bafite ubugwari, kuko n'abatanzaniya bari babizi ko nabo nibahaguruka bazabica, ariko bati kama mbaya barahaguruka anyways. Abanyarwanda nabo barabizi ko bahagurutse babica, ariko bo bakavuga bati aho gupfa uyu munsi nzapfa ejo. Reka nicecekere. Filozofi niyo ni filozofi itandukanye. Filozofi rero y'abanyarwanda ni filozofi bagumisha mu bucakara. Urumva se? Twihungire, twicecekere. Tuyoboke. Bya bindi abanyarwanda ngo ukuruzi uraguhakishwa. Abatanzaniya bo rero banze kuvuga ngo ukurizi ngo uraguhakishwa, bati tuzava.
Sikiteka sana moyoni mwangu, ni nani aliyeumba suluhu? Nasikitika sana moyoni mwangu, ni nani aliyeumba suluhu? Si wewe Mwenyezi Mungu, si wewe Mwenyezi Mungu, si wewe haki na ukombozi.
Iyo ni indirimbo yo kubaza ngo ninde waremye ngo uriya uri kubica. Ninde ngo wamuremye? Ati ngo ntago ari wowe wamuremye Mana, ntago ari wowe wamuremye. Ari gute se wari wowe wamurema hanyuma akatwica bigeze ahangaha? Abanyarwanda rero bo bahisemo kwicecekera. Communauté internationale, mutegereje se ko ari communauté internationale izaza kutubohora? Ntago ari communauté internationale izigereza kutubohora. Nk'uko Imana ifasha uwifashije, na communauté internationale nayo nyine wifashije wahagurutse se babikora wiki? Bagomba kubyamagana. Ha rero niho navugaga nti icyo bitandukaniyeho scam elections, habaho scam elections henshi cyane, ariko bamwe bakemera scam elections, abandi bati ntago tubyemeye. Aho niho bitandukaniye. Umunyamakuru w'umunyakenya Rari Mado mwaramumenye se? Oh my goodness. Dore ahandi aho Kagamisitani yiha kuvuga kuri Faci kuri Tshisekedi. Twumve n'akavideo k'iya pariti aho noneho avuga kuri Tshisekedi avuga ukuntu ngo atatsinze amatora we aracyagaruka kuri Tshisekedi avuga ukuntu atatsinze amatora ariko we ntiyivuge ukuntu we yageze ku buyobozi yishe abaperezida babiri azanye
The Constitution
jenoside.
does not provide for you to cheat
Umva.
the elections,
Are.
does it? Again, there's a funny example in our neighborhood. This
Ati ngo
Congo we
urugero
are
rusekeje
struggling with.
cyane ati ngo urugero rusekeje cyane mu baturanyi ariko igisekeje cyane ni ukubona ukuntu Uncle Kaga wa Kagamisita atajya amenya we kwireba ngo arebe ibintu bimuriho ariko akabibona ku bandi ibyo arega abandi nawe bimuriho ariko bimuriho we ntajya abibona. Ubu rero ngo agiye kuvuga ukuntu amatora yo mu baturanyi ari ibiwani. Ibaze Kagamisitani udatsinda amatora na rimwe. Kagamisitani wibye amatora igihe twagira mu ngo yamutoraga aratinyuka akajya imbere y'abantu akavuga ukuntu ngo amatora yo mu baturage ari ibiwani we. Ngaho nimwiyumvire.
We are talking about this man who raises the whole world and causes all kinds of troubles. When was he elected? No, you seriously, you here, tell me when. First time? The second time?
Ati ngo uyu muntu bavuga uvuga ngo yaratowe ngo yatowe ryari. Warimo aravuga Tshisekedi ngo yatowe ryari ngo bwa mbere ngo ubwa kabiri ngo yatowe ryari. Hanyuma se Kagamisitani wowe watowe ryari ubwa mbere ubwa kabiri ryari ni ryari wigeze utorwa. Free Ingabire nyuma yo gufunga abiyamamaza n'abashaka kwiyamamaza bose nyuma yo gutuma abantu bose bamuhunga nyuma yo kwica abandi bantu ati yatowe ryari wowe se watowe ryari.
No, you are silent, but you should be giving, you must be knowing something. But the first time he was just handed over by his friend.
Ngaho nyumvire ngo bwa mbere ngo ubutegetsi barabumuhereje ngo akira ubutegetsi.
Somebody should have had won. This is public knowledge. In this one,
ati ngo ibyo byose birazwi ngo hari undi wari watsinzwe ngo ariko barabumuhereza.
there was a smoke screen here about election.
Ngo bwa kabiri bwo ngo hari smoke screen mbega hari ikinamico hari umwuka icyuka gusa ngo amatora yo mu cyuka gusa ariko amande ishobora byose
Elections did not happen.
ngo nta matora yabaye
In fact, you are likely to have a third one.
ngo kandi bizongera bibe n'ubwa
There's another
gatatu.
third time.
Muramwibuka avuga ngo nta sade itama akeneye none ati ngo ndeba do I look like a person ukeneye sade itamu none arimo aravuga arimo aradenonsa sade itamu y'ahandi ati ngo sade itamu
Is coming back under the same fraudulent thing. But when you see
ati ngo bazongera mbega arabwenge babyibe biba amatora. Ibaza ariko kubona Kagame ari we uri kuvuga ibintu byo kwiba amatora we ariko mana yawe
these people who talk about democracy, about everything, and sleep, they're the first to send messages, thank you very much, congratulations. And
ati ngo abo bose birirwa bavuga demokarasi ngo nibo ba mbere baba ba mbere mu kohereza mesaje ngo congratulations thank you very much. Can you imagine ukagira ngo we ntabeshya abantu ngo yatsinze 99% kandi ni hahandi ni hahandi ari kubeshya. Bamubajije ibya zahabu arongera yishyira hanze ati turimo turagurisha ati sanction ntacyo zadutwaye ati turimo turagurisha avuga aho bari kugurisha hose Iki cyumweru rero nari muri space hamwe n'abakongore, ya space dusoma amaraporo aho banavuze noneho ku bya Mobutu, ubwo byarangiye turimo tuvuga tuti Kagamisitani, umukozi wa bampatse ibihugu wasimbuye undi mukozi wa bampatse ibihugu ari we Mobutu. Mobutu yari umucakara, yari umukozi wa bampatse ibihugu, yasimbuwe n'undi mukozi wa bampatse ibihugu kugira ngo bakomeze basahure ibihugu, basahure muri kariya karere. Urumva se? Nuko my people rero reka ndebe muri comment, niba nta comment mufite ubwo ndabareka, hanyuma ubwo nahejo aho tuzakora space ya Solidarité Congo, boycott Kagamistan. Dore space kuri ayo maraporo yose tuba turi gusoma iri aha ngaha kuri X, hanyuma kandi ikaba iri no kuri UNI talk show, kubera ko narayibroadcastinze. Urumva se? Ndangirize rero ku cyo yavuzeho cy'amadini, ku cyo Kagamisitani yavuzeho cy'amadini, kubera ko aricyo kintu cyonyine nabasha kumvikanaho na Kagamisitani. Ku bw'insengero, insengero zo rwose murabizi icyo nzitekerezaho. Insengero ni colonisation spirituelle. Insengero ni colonisation spirituelle kuri njyewe, bashatse zose bazifunga, ariko muri demokarasi no muri freedom umuntu aba yemerewe gusenga ibyo ashaka byose no kubyumva uko abona byose. Njyewe igisubizo nabonera insengero na colonisation spirituelle ni ukuzifata nka business no kuzitaksa nk'uko n'izindi business zose ziba taxe, noneho zikishyura imisoro kuko ni business nk'izindi zose. Urumva se?
Hanyuma ikindi nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika, ibirebana n'insengero, abanyirinsengero basabwe kugira ibyo bavugurura, barabivugurura bashyiramo amafaranga, nabyo bigiye gusaza zitarataha.
Iyo bibagewe nta nsengero nafungura n'imwe. N'ibyo dukora tubikora nyine byose kugira ngo abantu nayo insengero muri development, muri ibi byose twavugaga intambara ziri ku isi na survival y'igihugu, insengero zifitemo uruhare nazo ziratanga akazi se. They are just cheating. Abenshi they are just cheating. Ariko muba hehe mwe? Njyewe ibyo mbona ko ari abantu huzuyemo ububande gusa, kurwana n'ababande bari mu churches nabyo nta mpuhwe mbifitiye na busa rwose. Ariko mwebwe abakoroni barabarindagije, namwe murarindagira. Ubu twirwe tuganira ibintu bya church, insengero wagiye mujye guhinga, mworore, mujye gusenga nushaka usengere kuri telefone. Churches aho byaturutse ntuhazi. Churches ahantu hose ziri, ahubwo ndetse buriya nuko dushaka gushyira ibintu mu kuri, ntidashaka guhutaza abantu, tugira kwigisha, naho hafunzwe nke.
Ikibazo kirimo nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika, kubera hari uturere tumwe zifunguye, abaturage baturuka
aho niho honyine nemeranywaho na Kagamisitani rwose. Insengero colonisation spirituelle, ku ubujura bwitwaje Imana, nk'uko niyo mugabo yajyaga bivuga ngo ni ubujura bwitwaje Imana. Abantu baje kuyobya abantu no kudindiza abantu babazanira colonisation spirituelle, rwose byose bashatse babifunga. Ariko rero mu rwego rwa freedom, kureka abantu nubwo baba baratakaye bagatakara, inzira bakazayibonera ku giti cyabo, ubwo yenda umuntu yabareka bagakora, ariko noneho akabataksa nk'uko insengero ari business, insengero zigafatwa nka business mu zindi, bakabataksa. Ni igisubizo mbihereye Uncle Kaga wa Kagamisita. Insengero n'abashaka gusengesha mu batakse, mubikore nk'aho ari business isanzwe, mu bataxe amataxe yo hejuru cyane. Hanyuma kandi insengero nka kiliziya gatolika zo noneho zizamuka zikagera n'i Roma, muzitaxe kuva zagera mu Rwanda, imisoro yose zitishyuye n'ubutaka bwose ziriho zitarigeze zishyura imisoro, muyitaxe mubohereze fagitire. Urumva se? Icyo ni cyo gisubizo cy'insengero n'ubu bujura n'aba bajura bitwaje Imana. Icyo ni cyo gisubizo. Mubareke bakora ariko mu bataxe byo hejuru nk'izindi bizinesi zose, kuko kuva kera baje insengero, idini ari bizinesi, ariko bakatubeshya ngo bazatugeza ku Mana. Imana twari tuyizi, abasekuruza bacu bari bazi Imana, kandi Imana turi kumwe iteka. Ntago dukeneye insengero, ntago dukeneye amadini kugira ngo tugirane umubano mwiza n'Imana. Urumva se? Ni ubujura bwitwaje Imana. Bazifunge zose, oya kuko ngo hariho freedom. Nibazifunge ariko bazitaxe zose, bazica imisoro yayindi yo hejuru. Hanyuma kiliziya gatolika nayo yashinze imizi mu Rwanda kuva kera, n'ubutaka bwose bafite batigeze basorera, na revenues zose babonye badasora, babataxe. Abayisilamu babataxe, bose babataxe kuko byose ni business. Ntimuzavuge ngo ntitwabahaye ibisubizo.
mu turere hose zifunze bajya gutera umubyigano.
naho tuzazifunge ahubwo.
Yehe.
Yes, aho ziri ubwo tuzazifunga, bajye basengera mu rugo rwose. Iri senga abanyafurika mwara.
Exactly. Abanyafurika ubucakara mu mutwe ni aho ngaho. Iki ni cyo kintu cyonyine nzashimira Uncle Kaga wa Kagamisi. ko byibuze yamenye gukoring out colonisation spirituelle. Byari kuba rero byiza kurushaho yaza kuvuga ati namaganye colonisation spirituelle, ariko nawe ubwe ntawe uba umukozi w'abamatsi ibihugu. Urumva ari kuvuga ati abanyafurika mwaracanganyikiwe muri mu nsengero, ubujura bwitwaje Imana, ariko ntarebe ko nawe ubwe muri politike ari umucakara w'abamatsi ibihugu, ari wa munyafurika wagiye gukoreshwa na bamatsi ibihugu, bakamukoresha akabafasha kurimbura abanyafurika, kurimbura abantu muri Congo, kurimbura abantu muri Grand Lac, kurimbura abantu i Rwanda. Mu gihe rero arimo avuga ati abanyafurika mwaracanganyikiwe, muri abacakara mu mutwe, muri abacakara mu mutwe kuko mujya mu nsengero. We arimo ariyibagirwa ko nawe ari umucakara mu mutwe n'umutindi ku mutima, kuko nubwo bwose atajya mu rusengero, ariko muri politike akorera abamatsi ibihugu, baramukoronije kandi barimo baramukoresha kugira ngo arimbure abandi banyafurika. Yarangiza ngo arafightinga for his right, ukagira ngo abandi nta burenganzira bwe bakora. Shout out kuri Shira Kamuzinzi n'iyi hashtag Mirenzi Movement Rwanda, bahora bamuquestioninga bamubaza kabisa. Umubeshyi bamukoring out kila siku. Nuko my people rero kuyavuga siko kuyamara, ubwo naho ubutaha. Dore nimurebe mu bindi mu baturanyi scam elections, dore noneho ngo yujuje wa mugore yujuje abantu bo muri famiye ye muri guverinoma. Minisitiri wa finance brother in law, minisitiri wa health son in law, minisitiri wa defense inshuti y'umuryango we, ngo ushakira abagabo cyangwa abagore abantu bo mu muryango we. Deputy Minister you work n'isi we, special seat MP umukobwa we bamuhaye special seat MP, deputy minister muri education umukobwa we. Ya sha turangirize ku banyakenya nikundira cyane my people, aho uyu mujene Rini Ngugi avuga ati mujye muguma muri ibyo bintu, ibi ngibi ni nabyo abakagamize baba barimo, ati mtu ni wetu lakini vitu ni zake, amkeni. Ati bya bindi abantu bavuga ngo ni uwacu ni mwene wacu, mwebwe mu gihe mukiri kuvuga ngo ni uwacu ngo ni mwene wacu, ariko ibintu bye byose yarabyibye ku giti cye, aranko kaga wa kagamista muba muri kumushyigikira ngo ni mwene wacu ngo ni uwacu, kumbe ibyo yasahuye yabisahuye ku giti cye we n'agafamiye ke ku giti cye, nta wundi muntu yitayeho. Ati rero mukanguke. My people murakoze cyane, kuyavuga siko kuyamara. Ubwo rero nahejo muri rediffusion mu kinyarwanda gusa no muri show yo mu cyongereza gusa, hanyuma kandi muzaze no muri live ya Solidarité Congo boycott Kagamistan, urumva se kabisa nabwo muzabe muhari. Murakoze rero my people, ubwo naho ubutaha reka ndebe muri comments niba hari comments zagize icyo zivuga nagombye gusubiramo. Wapi kabisa ndabona abantu bibereye mu bindi, ubwo naho ubutaha nanjye narindi muri ribaruwa riraye. Yap. Ubwo nigeze no kubona no kwa Iteme batabita bakoze ikiganiro hamwe na Adeline Rwigara. I can't wait nabwo kujya kubyumva kabisa. My people mukomeze mugire ibihe byiza aho muri hose, Imana ibamenye muri byose. Reka mbareke rero, ubwo nahejo. Right. Nyakabara, long time no see. Yo, mukomere cyane. Mukomere cyane, weekend nziza everybody. Turi kumwe kabisa. Twari turi muri ribaruwa riraye, byari biryoshye kabisa. Every year. Ribaruwa riraye, murambe cyane. My people rero reka mbareke, naho ubutaha start the music. Thank you so much. Weekend nziza.